All right, deep divers. You know the drill. Smash that like button and subscribe if you're new here. We're diving into some seriously juicy Hollywood drama today. An SNL feud that's been simmering for decades. We're talking Victoria Jackson and Alec Baldwin. Get ready for some eyebrow-raising quotes and some, well, pretty bold accusations.
It's definitely a story that captures your attention. I mean, we've got podcast excerpts, articles, all painting this fascinating picture of a relationship that's gone, well, pretty sour.
Yeah, and it seems like things have been frosty between these two SNL alums for a long
Oh,
time.
yeah, decades.
But Jackson has been pretty vocal recently about what she sees as the root of the problem.
Right. And it's not just your typical Hollywood gossip. She links the start of this feud to an encounter with Baldwin back when he hosted SNL in 1990.
Oh, wow, so we're going way back.
Way back. She claims he made a comment about her, well, her breasts that she found really offensive.
She actually goes into detail about this in her 2012 book, Is My Bow Too Big?
Mm.
According to Jackson, Baldwin allegedly asked her why her breasts were so big,
Yeah.
right there on set. She calls the comment rude, caustic, even inappropriate.
It's important to remember, though, that we're hearing Jackson's side of the story here.
Right.
Baldwin hasn't publicly addressed these claims, so it's crucial to, keep that in mind. These kinds of public disputes often have layers of complexity beneath the surface.
Totally. And to make things even more, well, complicated, Jackson also suggests that things haven't really improved since then. She claims Baldwin has been mean to her, especially after her book was published, and she even hints that their differing political views might be a factor. Jackson is a vocal conservative and a Trump supporter, while Baldwin, as many people know, is, well, very liberal and a pretty frequent critic of Trump.
It's interesting, right? Because this actually speaks to something we're seeing a lot of: political polarization impacting relationships across society. This case really shows how those tensions can even seep into long-standing personal and professional connections.
It makes you think about how we navigate those kinds of disagreements, especially in a world that feels increasingly divided. And there's another layer to this story, something that I found particularly interesting. Jackson also brings up an incident from the 1990s where she believes political correctness led to her being dropped by her agent.
Oh, this is a fascinating one. It gives us a glimpse into how the world of comedy and really cultural sensitivity in general has changed over time.
Right. What might have been considered acceptable humor decades ago could face a very different reaction today.
Exactly. It raises all sorts of questions about artistic freedom, audience reception, and the evolution of those societal norms.
So what exactly happened?
Well, Jackson was opening for fellow SNL alum Joe Piscopo, and she performed a song with a, let's just say, a pretty provocative title.
Okay, I'm on the edge of my seat. What was the song called?
White Men Are Good.
Whoa. You can imagine that probably didn't go over well with everyone in the audience.
It definitely sparked a reaction, and according to Jackson, that reaction led to her agent at APA cutting ties.
Wow. This really makes you think, doesn't it? Where do we draw the line between humor and harm? How has that line shifted over time? How do we balance artistic expression with the potential to cause offense? We're going to be exploring these questions and more as we continue our deep dive into this SNL feud. Stick around, deep divers. This is just the beginning.
It's fascinating how these personal experiences and beliefs really shape how we interpret things, especially when you throw in personal history and strong opinions like we've got here.
Totally. And you know what else adds another layer to this whole story? A more recent development, the Victoria Jackson's cancer diagnosis. It kind of throws a wrench in things, Makes you think about public perception and how we deal with vulnerability, especially in the public eye.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's definitely a sensitive topic, but it also makes you think about how those in the spotlight, celebrities and such, deal with these very personal struggles, and then how we as the audience respond to those experiences.
It's interesting because Jackson has been pretty open about her journey, sharing details with fans. She's talked about the impact of the diagnosis and how she's coping with treatment.
That's pretty powerful, actually, that willingness to be vulnerable, especially when you're someone who's been in the public eye for so long. It makes you wonder about the expectations we put on public figures. That balance between our curiosity about their lives and the importance of respecting their privacy.
It's a tough one, for sure. How much should we, as consumers of entertainment and media, really expect celebrities to share?
Right. It's a two-way street. We're naturally curious about the lives of people we see on screen or in the headlines. But we can't forget they're human, too.
Absolutely. And speaking of Jackson's career, She mentions in one of these interviews that she actually stepped back from entertainment even before her cancer diagnosis.
Oh, wow. So this was even before all that.
Yeah. And that's interesting because, considering everything else going on, it suggests there might be other factors at play here
Hmm.
beyond the feud and the incident with her agent, I mean.
Hmm. I wonder what else could have been going on.
Well, in one of the podcasts, she says that she wanted to quit anyway.
Hmm.
So was she just ready for something new? Feeling disillusioned with the industry, maybe?
Who knows? But it is a good reminder that a career in entertainment, even a successful one, isn't always what it's cracked up to be.
So where does this all leave us? We've got personal conflicts, political clashes, evolving societal norms, and a very personal health journey, all tangled up together.
It's a lot, right? But I think that's what makes it so compelling. It's a powerful reminder that there are always multiple sides to every story, even those that seem simple at first glance.
Well said. So deep divers, we've covered a lot, but we're not done yet. Stick around for part 3, where we'll try to make sense of it all and see what this story can teach us about navigating our own, well, pretty complex world. Welcome back, deep divers. We've gone through a lot, haven't we? This whole SNL feud, the encounter from decades ago, career changes, even a cancer diagnosis. Where do we even begin to unpack all of this?
I know, right? It's easy to get lost in the drama of it all. But there are some important takeaways here, things that apply to all of us, no matter who we are or what we do.
Yeah, for sure. One thing that really struck me was the importance of, critical thinking and media literacy, too, for that matter. We're constantly being bombarded with information, especially online. It's tough to know what to believe.
I totally agree. And remember, we've only heard one side of the story here. That's a perfect example of why we need to think critically. There's always more to the picture than meets the eye.
Exactly.
Mm.
And it's not just about the facts, right? This whole feud also highlights how much our own personal experiences and beliefs color our perceptions. Whether it's our background, our political views, our general outlook on life, those lenses shape how we see the world.
Absolutely. And those differing perspectives really come to light when you consider the role of humor, which is a big part of this story. What one person finds funny, another might find offensive. And those lines are constantly in motion.
It's like they say, comedy is tragedy plus time or something like that. What might have been totally acceptable humor decades ago could be a huge no-no today.
Right. And that reflects the changing norms and sensitivities of society as a whole. It makes you think, doesn't it? How do we navigate this evolving landscape? How do we reconcile artistic expression with the potential to cause offense?
Big questions for sure. And then there's the whole issue of how we engage in dialogue with people who have different opinions, especially when those opinions clash with our own.
That's a tough one, but it's something we all need to grapple with, especially in today's world.
Well, this deep dive has definitely been a wild ride. Surprises, contradictions, thought-provoking moments, the whole package. But at the end of the day, I think it reminds us that every story, even one as messy and dramatic as this one, offers us a glimpse into what it means to be human.
That's a great way to put it. Recognizing that complexity, approaching these situations with a critical but also empathetic perspective, and remembering that there's always more to learn. I think that's what it's all about.
Couldn't have said it better myself. And on that note, deep divers, it's time to wrap up this exploration of the SNL feud that just keeps on giving. Be sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the stories that matter. And as always, let us know your thoughts in the comments. We love hearing from you.